Hey everyone, let's talk XRP. We're checking out the one-day chart again, my friends. Right now, we're chilling at $3.03 on XRP. We just saw another beautiful leg up. So here's the million-dollar question. Do we keep riding this rocket? There's a whole army of doubters and chart wizards screaming that this rally's gonna fizzle out, that we're dropping back down soon. But me? I'm incredibly bullish on this. I truly believe this is the breakout we've been patiently waiting for. Oh, and look at Bitcoin cruising back above $120,000. Now here's what's keeping me up at night. Is this Bitcoin's grand finale before everything comes tumbling down? Man, the predictions are absolutely everywhere right now. A ton of folks are screaming, scrap $150,000, we're rocketing straight to $180,000. Personally, though, I'm still betting it peaks just under $150,000. Then we see that massive correction. But guess what's coming? Alt season is knocking at our door. Someone posted this gem. This bull run's impossible to profit from. Institutions dominate everything. Retail investors aren't participating. Alt season's gonna disappoint compared to previous cycles. We've already topped and the bear market's begun. Bro, your newbie energy is screaming right now. You sound like someone who's completely fresh to this space, no offense. Okay, so the mega pump is about to kick off and retail is gonna come rushing in like a tidal wave. Seriously, you'll be up all night watching charts. We're talking about life-changing money here. And you know what I'm noticing? All these skeptics, all these worn out traders who've been white knuckling through this marathon rally, they're gonna bail out ridiculously early because the real fireworks, that's not even showing up until 2026. But there's a massive crowd out there screaming that this whole thing wraps up and dies by late November. Yeah, I'm not buying it. We're still sitting here waiting on that critical regulatory clarity from the US. ISO launches in November, and the ETFs are coming. Honestly, they'll probably slam those through the moment the government doors swing back open. Everything's still pointing toward massive upside ahead, but somehow there's tons of people ready to just walk away. Like, that genuinely blows my mind. So XRP absolutely explodes throughout October. Then November arrives and boom, like we hit full-blown parabolic territory. Almost feels too straightforward at this point. Like, of course, there will be dips sprinkled in, and every time we see one forming, the crowd's going to be yelling that we've peaked. If you're thinking about taking profit, maybe now's the time, right? Like, the top is officially in for crypto. The top is in for XRP, only for us to watch it absolutely skyrocket even higher. Listen, you never ever want to be that person who sells their XRP way too soon. Trust me on this one. So there's this golden cross happening versus Bitcoin that's pushing XRP price targets sky high. We're talking $9.51 here. Honestly, I have no idea where they're pulling these predictions from. But here's what I really believe. XRP is going way, way higher than just $9.51. Now, they're specifically talking about XP versus Bitcoin here. Look at this chart right here. They're expecting it to climb higher than it's ever gone before. And you know what? I completely agree with that. I think it's going to be absolutely insane. The XRP versus Bitcoin chart, it's already looking super bullish, no question about it. But saying we're hitting $9.51, I think that's more like a pit stop. You know, we'll probably see a little pullback there before XRP really takes off towards that $20 plus mark. And with the ETF coming, those ETFs bringing in all that institutional money, I'm telling you, I still believe we're going way, way higher than that. And David Schwartz has actually hinted at this too. Don't rush to dump your XRP, guys. Patience seriously pays off. HODL strong. Everyone, David Schwartz himself said, and this is wild. As many of you know, I sold 40,000 ETH at around $1 to put solar panels on a house I don't even own anymore. Tals, that ETH ended up being worth over $100 million, like literally right after that. And this, my friends, is the perfect example of why selling early is a terrible idea. You do that and you're just setting yourself up for pure regret, I promise you. Like, imagine for a second, you dumped all your XRP somewhere around $10 and then you're just sitting there watching it rocket past 3 digits. Because let me tell you, 3 digits totally on the table for this cycle. All these people selling way too early. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to catch them literally crying their eyes out all over X when this pops off, because honestly, I think XRP is going to blow everyone's freaking mind in this space. There's this massive crowd out there screaming there's no demand for XRP whatsoever, that institutions couldn't care less about XRP. It's all Bitcoin and Ethereum, nothing else matters, right? But listen to me right now. The demand for XRP is literally already here, staring us in the face. Just look at all these XRP spot ETF filings popping up. That's showing you the demand is already sitting right there. They're just keeping the spotlight locked on Bitcoin. That's the whole game they're playing. They're trying to keep everyone distracted from what's happening. The US shutdown just threw this massive wrench into everything for ETF hopes, and logically speaking, this should have tanked XRP downward because of all the ETF delays, but you know what actually happened? The exact opposite. We're already climbing upward. So honestly, you can interpret this whole situation in two completely different ways. Like, people already know the ETFs are getting approved. Like, that's a done deal. But what's happening right now? They're accumulating behind the scenes. So we've got two possibilities here. Either they're loading up their bags before these ETFs actually go live, or maybe the market's already priced this whole thing in, you know? One of these is definitely what we're watching unfold. But guys, the fact that XRP didn't just tank after this news dropped, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And you know what that's telling me? It really looks like we're finally witnessing the comeback for XRP that everyone's been talking about. All right, breaking update. The US government shutdown is projected to run for 13 days per Calci. Now, if that plays out, we'd be looking at the 5th longest US government shutdown ever recorded. So yeah, they're already slapping a timeline on this whole mess. The official word is 13 days. That's what they're calling. Though, honestly, I'm seeing folks out there saying it's gonna drag on for over a month. There's just so many different forecasts getting thrown around with stuff like this. Am I right? The government could literally fire back up as soon as tomorrow. But however you want to frame the situation, here's the reality. So far, this has been incredibly bullish for crypto. And what I'm really curious about is whether that bullish energy we're seeing actually continues moving forward from this point. Look, I really think this is going to happen, but you know what? There's always going to be doubters out there screaming that this rally is going to fizzle out fast. So check this out. XRP's price is moving as Ripple just completed their escrow unlock for October, and boom, everyone's immediately like, okay, hold up. Where did all that XRP actually go? They literally unlocked 1 billion coins. Then what do? They locked 700 million straight back into escrow. So where's the rest? Probably went to over-the-counter sales. Your guess is as good as mine. But we saw this coming from a mile away, and normally this kind of unlock would knock XRP's price down a notch, right? But guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. XRP didn't even flinch, and that right there shows you something powerful. This market we're in right now is rock solid. This comes straight from Dark Defender. We called it on XRPRSI, weekly breakout, weekly trend break confirmed. The targets are sitting right there, clear as day. Nothing's gonna stop what's about to happen. And if you pull up his chart, here's his vision. We're gonna surge up to somewhere around $6.50. Then we'll see a correction back down to roughly $4. Somewhere in that sweet spot between $3.90 and $4.30. And after that, buckle up. We're gonna absolutely skyrocket. So check this out, his timeline. It's literally pointing to the beginning of next year too, which means we're about to witness an absolute monster run up from right now all the way through November. Sure, December might throw us a quick temporary dip, nothing to freak out about, but then January sliding into February, that's when things absolutely explode. And here's the crazy part. That's been my exact timeline this whole time. Now, that final surge everyone's buzzing about, that's the moment people are legitimately convinced XRP could skyrocket into triple digit territory, all depending on just how much money comes pouring into those ETFs. And listen, those ETFs, they're definitely going to be up and running by that time. Plus, there's a really strong chance the Clarity Act gets passed through before then as well, and ISO is gonna already be running at full steam. Like, seriously, all these huge catalysts converging in such a tiny window of time. It's honestly like watching the perfect storm brew specifically for a crypto like XRP. Real talk. I personally wouldn't even consider selling a single XRP token until we hit early 2026 somewhere. Now, if you're strategizing about when to cash out, here's your golden rule. Wait for that fifth wave to hit. Don't make the rookie mistake of grabbing profit on wave 3 while we're still sitting below double digits, because basically every single forecast out there is screaming XRPs going double digits minimum. Bloomberg literally goes live announcing the crypto markets entering Uptober season. And when you've got mainstream media outlets actually covering this narrative, yeah, you know, Uptober's officially here, folks. Go ahead and listen.
Just a quick check on crypto prices as we begin the so-called month of October with strong gains. Traders are betting of a rebound after one of the harshest sell-offs in months. Cryptocurrencies shed roughly $300 billion last week as a wave of leveraged bets unraveled, but things may be looking up this month with Bitcoin ending in the green in the last 6 Octobers.
All right. So October's here and everyone's buzzing. You already know what that means, right? Things are about to go absolutely bonkers, and XRP just crushed its best quarterly close ever. Yeah, I totally forgot to drop that bomb in yesterday's video, my bad. But here's the thing. That kind of performance, it's basically screaming, we're heading up, baby. You know, so all those doubters who've been trash talking XRP, get ready to watch them backpedal real hard. Plus, can we just appreciate XRP chilling above $2 and flirting with $3? Pretty sweet, if you ask me. Now, real talk. Could we slide back under $3? Sure, absolutely possible. But here's what you need to know. That's not your cue to freak out. A random red day pops up. Who cares? We've already got the roadmap. We know where this rocket's headed. Honestly, it blows my mind how people just sell the moment things go red. It's like Pavlov's dog, but for crypto, see red. Must sell immediately. I witness this chaos unfold constantly. You scroll through X when the charts are bleeding, and it's the same sob story. Crypto destroyed me, just dumped all my XRP, never touching this garbage again. Fast forward 24 hours, markets pumping green, and suddenly just loaded up on XRP again, let's go. Dude, you literally just overpaid to jump back in and lost precious XRP in the process. The winning strategy when red days hit? Absolutely nothing. Seriously though, don't let these pessimists and top callers mess with your head. They're acting like this cycle's already dead and buried, and we haven't even begun yet. Listen, this cycle has been playing out so differently from anything we've witnessed before. Like, picture this. Rewind back to 2020, yeah? That epic bull run when XRP was completely strangled by SEC drama, Ripple versus SEC was just firing up, and XRP got absolutely yeeted off every single major exchange out there. You know what blows my mind? People back then had insane conviction, way more fire than what I'm seeing today, and XRP wasn't anywhere near $3 back then either. But the community, they were unstoppable. Everyone was like, bro, XRP's hitting double digits this run, watch. Like, even with all that baggage crushing down on XRP, the relentless suppression, that monster lawsuit with the SEC, exchanges dropping it like a hot potato one after another. honestly looked like the darkest timeline possible, right? But the community just kept grinding, kept accumulating, zero complaints. Fast forward to now, the market looks absolutely gorgeous in comparison. There's literally nothing blocking XRP's path anymore, and somehow everyone's ready to rage quit. These doom and gloom people, dude, I'm not kidding. It spreads like wildfire. They hop on X, unleash all their frustration into the void, and next thing you know, other people are getting sucked into that same toxic spiral. New investors completely sleep on this, but yo, if you actually stick with it and XRP starts genuinely breaking out, dude, you're going to be ridiculously thrilled when that finally happens. I'm not even kidding. The raw excitement and adrenaline rush, it's going to be straight up next level, and literally everyone's going to be shouting about how much crazy money they're making off their XRP positions. There's going to be tons of sleepless nights with people frantically checking their portfolio all night long, refreshing, constantly wondering if XRP just pumped even higher. It's going to be an insane time, and it's going to be plastered all over the mainstream media news as well. They're going to be hyping about how crypto is going absolutely parabolic. Is it now an amazing time for new investors to dive into crypto? Because they obviously still want to onboard those retail investors. Even when XRP is trading above $10, that's precisely when they're going to want to spotlight it. Right now, they clearly don't want anybody buying it. And look, that's why this is the moment you load up as much as you possibly can. I tell people every single day, if you want to make real money, now's the critical time to get into crypto. But the opportunity is absolutely closing. If you don't get in now, you're going to majorly regret it just a few months from now. Listen, so many people are going to completely miss this incredible opportunity. And why? Because they're scared to dive into crypto. They keep saying things like, oh, it's not regulated enough. That's just not my thing. I'd rather stick with accredited investments, like the traditional stock market. Come on. If you genuinely want to make serious money, crypto is where the magic happens, and right now is your moment to get in. So until that breakthrough comes, keep staying patient, keep staying positive. All right, I'm wrapping things up here. I really want to thank every single one of you for watching today. I'll catch you in the next video. Have an amazing night.